So I wanted to do a quick video because I've seen a lot of stuff out in the press. I know there's a lot of speculations that the Kardashians have been doing this drug, and I've actually been taking it for weight loss the last 15 months, and it's been super helpful. But I have been getting asked some questions that I just think some things need to be cleared up about it, and it's not like magic. It just works in a particular way that a lot of people find super helpful. It's not something that you can do short term, and it's not like magic, but it is like super helpful, especially if you're like me, where you've kind of struggled with your weight. And I've been able to kind of be at an okay weight, but then as I was approaching 50, it was so hard to keep weight off. And we'd switched to the Mediterranean diet a couple of years ago, and we eat pretty healthy and not really huge amounts, but it just gets harder the older you get. It just simply does. So I had been reading about these drugs. The one that I ended up getting to do is this one, which is called saxenda. The generic name is Liraglutide. Now, the one I had been reading about is Semiglutide, and that's the one I initially asked my doctor to see if she could get approved for me. My insurance felt like it was too new to the market because we asked right after the FDA approved it for non-diabetic people, but they did approve this one. So the main difference with those two medications, they work very similarly, is Liraglutide you just have to inject once a week. Semiglutide you have to do daily. This might throw you at first because who, is used to like injecting themselves, except maybe diabetics who have to do it all the time. But it really is not a big deal. I got used to it very quickly. I watched a YouTube video. I did it. It's not a big deal. The needle is very small. It comes in this little thing. So let me back up. So when you get this from your prescription, this lasts about a month or so. You get a box like this. It has several pens inside that look like this. So you get a box full of these. Here's what each pen looks like. And you just take the cap off, and this is where all the medication is. So this little plunger pushes the medication out. So as you can see, this tube's almost at an end, but there's a little bit of medication left. And when you first start out, it's completely clear, and then it pushes the medication out. So all you do is you take this, and you have your little needle, and everything should come like sanitary wrapped like this. And you just twist it on, and then this is like a safety cap. And this particular needle has an additional safety cap. So you just pull that off. So look at how tiny this needle is. Do you see how little that is? It's like super little. And all that you do is you take an alcohol swab, this little thing, you put it wherever you're going to inject the medication. So this medication is not supposed to go into your muscle. It's just supposed to go like right under your skin. So I usually do it in my stomach. You do it where you have like a little extra fat. Wipe the area. You put the needle in. Most of the time I don't even feel it. And then you hit this plunger. Well, let me back up. So here's the clear medication, and the plunger will push it out, and this usually lasts you about a week or so. All you're going to do is see that little number. You twist the end. And when you first start out, they usually like to get your body gradually used to it. So what you do is you start out with like 0.6, and then you go to 1.2, then 1.8, 2.4, and then 3.0 milligrams. That's usually the largest dose. Some people don't even need to use that much. Some people use less. I'm 5'10", I'm not tiny, so I use the full dosage. But when you first start out, it's much lower. So you're doing 1.2. So you just put that in. And by the way, if you screw up, it's so easy. You just like go back to 0. And then you just put in whatever dosage you need to do. So if we were doing 1.8, you alcohol swab, you put the needle in, and then you just hit this button on the end. And I don't want to waste any medication, so I'm not actually going to press it with the medicine, but you just push this in and it comes out the needle. It's maybe 5 seconds and it's done. And then, yeah, you would just push that button, goes in, you're done. You put your safety back on the needle, take it off. I got one of those, you know, medical, those little waste receptacles. Keep it in that, so when you dispose of it, nobody will hurt themselves. But you throw that in, and then you put your lid back on, and you put this back in the refrigerator. I get this. I put it all in the refrigerator because this medication is not supposed to go over, I think it's 86 degrees, which is pretty warm, but I still don't want to take any chances with it. And this is really expensive if you have to pay for it out of pocket. So I always just keep mine in the fridge so it never has a chance of doing that. I started using this medication and slowly worked my dosage up to 3 milligrams. And then slowly over the last 15 months, I have lost 52 pounds. What this medication does is it makes you feel fuller longer. So when you eat, it just takes a while longer for your stomach to empty. And so you're not like having the urge to eat again soon. It also makes you feel fuller longer, so I can go longer time frames between eating. And I would eat less. I would just eat less. And I kind of figured out how I function and I made it work for me. So like for me, I could probably wait till noon to eat something, and I would have like a yogurt, and then I would have like some other small thing maybe in a few hours. But then I'd have a regular dinner and snacks because I'm like a nighttime eater and I have snacks at night, and I just know that's how I function. And if I try to do something else, I can do it for a while and then it backfires. But even doing it that way, it was great. I've lost 52 pounds and now I'm being greedy because that was my original like super goal, was that amount. And now I'm seeing if I can lose a few more. Eventually, I will probably lower the dosage of this to some sort of maintenance level. But studies have shown that people that go off of this after losing the weight, only 25% of them keep the weight loss. The other 75% tend to gain their weight back. I don't mind. For me, this works. This is just like, you know, diabetic people have to do this every day. And for me, if it helps me keep the weight off, I'm happy to do it. But that's why I say, like, it's not magical, right? Like, you don't take it, the weight goes off, and then you're done with medicine. The medicine's what's keeping you, like, not having an appetite that much. So you kind of have to stay on some form of it to keep the weight off. I am very grateful that my doctor was able to tell the insurance that they should cover it. And it was mostly because I have tried a lot of things and nothing has really worked. And this has just been a lifesaver for me. But like I said, it's not magic. It works in a very particular way and you have to stay on it, which doesn't work for a lot of people. I've definitely had questions from people asking about that, and they didn't realize that you do have to stay on it or stay on some dose of it after you've lost the weight. This isn't for people that need to lose like 10 pounds. This isn't designed for that. This was designed originally for diabetics, but it just happens to work for people that have a lot of weight to lose like I did. Like I lost 52 pounds, which was great. And I'm 5'10", so I feel like that amount of weight loss shows on me, but not as much as it would on someone who's 5 feet tall. But either way, I'm very grateful. It's been a really good medication for me. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have below. I have done a lot of research. I have been on the medication, but I'm also not a doctor. So I can also probably refer you to a medical professional if it's something that I don't feel comfortable answering. But I've done a lot of research and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So let me know below. What was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, I remember. The other thing is I hit a plateau where I didn't lose any weight for 3 months. Didn't lose anything. And in midst of this process, I decided to go on hormones for perimenopause. And after those kicked in, I started losing the weight again at a normal cycle. So if you're, where you might be in that range, like I was turning 50 and I was starting to go into perimenopause. And I did the research, talked to some medical professional friends, and it was advised to go on hormones. So I did, which total PS, I used to think, most people used to think that going on hormones would cause cancer. And all the new research now says that actually you're more prone to have heart disease and osteoporosis if you don't go on hormones. And there's a very particular type of cancer it has a tiny uptick in, but it's super treatable, unlike those other two things. So it actually makes more sense to go on the hormones if you were in the position like I was. So I did find that to help, but I did, like, even when I plateaued, I still did the medication every day. I didn't give up. I just kept plugging along. And then after that, I started losing weight again. So I just wanted to put that out there for people that might be in the same position. Other than that, let me know if you have any questions. Happy to help. And I hope you find this helpful.